Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the channel. It's your boy, World of Wrestling, here today to discuss about AEW Dynamite March 19th, 2025 review. Another week has gone by. Wrestling is going ahead, presenting us with shows and shit. And I'm about ready to blow up here. Dynamite could have been a successful show, and it turned out to be a piece of shit once again. Yeah, all you AEW sickos who love this shit no matter what fucking Tony Khan gives you, this was garbage. This was a garbage show. The placement of the show was completely irrational. The World Championship came on at 9 o'clock. I figured we were going to get a long, drawn-out show. And instead, immediately following that, the last two things that took place on this pathetic fucking show was AR Fox and Will Ospreay. Why that match was even taking place, I don't have the slightest fucking clue. And then the main event was actually Megan Bayne versus Chris Statlander. What the fuck is Megan Bayne and Chris Statlander? The main event of tonight's Dynamite. You were hyping up a world title match. That which, by the way, I actually, believe it or not, enjoyed more than what we got from the fucking pay-per-view coming out of Revolution. Can you believe that shit, folks? It wasn't irrational. It didn't have illogical booking moves. Was it a complete clusterfuck of different people getting involved in the match and interfering? Yes. Was Dax Hardwood and Cash Wheeler possibly teasing a breakup retarded? Absolutely. I don't understand why the fuck they're breaking up FTR outside of the fact they showed praise towards CM Punk at one point in time. And God knows if you express positive outlook on someone who's no longer part of the company that Tony Khan deems as crappy, why you're treated like shit. We don't see these guys ever wrestle anymore. Dax Hardwood and Cash Wheeler don't do nothing, and outside of the times that they do wrestle, it's most of the time on Collision, and once in a blue moon making appearances on Dynamite. And now they're teasing a possible breakup between Dax Hardwood and Cash Wheeler. What a fucking joke. What a fucking joke. Holy shit. I'm fuming here, folks. I'm really pissed off. Between the fucking John Cena promo that we got this past Monday, which I did not like at all. If you haven't seen the review yet, by all means, go back. I fucking went nuclear on that shit. 100%. That was absolute garbage. Not to mention a million other things I pointed out on that episode of Raw this past week. This could have been successful. This could have been fine. But the placement of these matches on this show was fucking terrible. Really, it was fucking terrible. Megan Bayne, Chris Statlander was our main event. Are you fucking kidding me? For what? So that we can announce that Toni Storm and Megan Bayne are going at it at Dynasty over the AEW Women's Championship. And Megan Bayne hasn't spoke a fucking word yet. I don't understand why that wouldn't have been booked at the 9 o'clock hour. AR Fox and Will Ospreay booked before the main event with the world title, and then the world title ends the show. The match was over 30 fucking minutes. Well, not over, but it was close to 30 minutes. Why wouldn't you be booking that as the main event? You couldn't have done this at the AEW Revolution pay-per-view, but you do it on AEW Dynamite instead. A match to me that was successful. It was entertaining. You didn't have stupidity booking, illogical booking involved. You had fucking Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian trying to get involved on top of it so that they could screw over Adam Copeland out of the world title match with Christian not liking Adam Copeland. You're telling me we couldn't have had a street fight at Revolution. Skip the fucking regular singles bullshit and just had a street fight like we got here tonight. This is utterly retarded. This is shit we've seen back in the days when Vince McMahon was running WWE. And holy fucking shit, we're seeing it here in AEW. And AEW is the so-called alternative to WWE. Some alternative. I don't know what fucking alternative this shit is, but I'd like to know what the fuck it is. I really don't understand this shit. This is garbage we used to see on Monday Night Raw back in the 2000, let's say from 2016 all the way up to 2019, 2020. Pretty much when Vince McMahon was running it, we saw the booking of Raws being booked all fucked up and main events being retarded as hell. I just can't understand this. This is fucking garbage. A wasted 30-minute match that should have been booked for the fucking main event, and it's booked like it's an afterthought. I don't understand. Jon Moxley takes a spot that was fucking brutal. Fucking brutal. Literally gets nails driven into his fucking spine. Into his back. The man could have injured himself. Who the fuck knows? Maybe he did. The thing was literally stuck in his skin. They had to have 2 or 3 people just to take it out. Thankfully, the referee figured out a way to get the fucking, the 2x4 spikes out of his back. I don't understand. That would have been perfect for the main event of AEW Revolution. And instead, we get this in the mid-portion of the show. Mid-portion of the fucking show. God. All this nonsensical bullshit. And not to mention, we have a match with Billy Starks, I think is her name. Who the fuck cares? Who the hell gives a shit? Let me go to the AEW Women's TBS Championship. Yeah, it's Billy Starks going up against Mercedes Moné. Billy Starks, 23 years old, has had over 500 matches from what they claim. She's been wrestling since her teen years. And this woman had a spot in this match where I think, literally, Mercedes Moné was a moment away of breaking her fucking neck from a maneuver that Billy Starks almost injured Mercedes Moné. Now, granted, don't get me wrong, I am not a fan of Mercedes Moné here in AEW because of the way she's being booked, the way she's coming across professionally. She's coming across to me as if she was like Hulk Hogan of the women's wrestling division. She's being placed in situations where she's always got a chance to win. She's facing contenders that have no fucking, based on paper alone, do not look like they even have a solitary shot of being convincingly believable to beat her for the title. And they put her in a match with Billy Starks, and Billy Starks literally drops her on the back of her skull. And I swear on my life, I thought she broke her fucking neck. She literally barely got her foot on the gosh darn rope with her foot to break up the pinfall. And I think she possibly got a concussion from this match. You probably won't see her in a wrestling match for several weeks now for precautionary reasons. She may not even have a match at Dynasty. Not that it really matters. They got no story going into the TBS Women's Championship anyway. But my God, Mercedes Moné could have fucking injured herself. And then Billie Starkz tries to go ahead and do a fucking, act like she's Darby Allin doing a flip dive on the side of the ring and literally plants her back. And I thought she broke her fucking back for all I know. I mean, these fucking people are crazy. Al Snow said it best 2 years ago in 2023 Revolution, where Darby Allin launched himself off the fucking ladder, or it might have been 2024. I'm confused. I don't know. I think it was last year's Revolution. I'd have to go back. Yeah, it was last year's Revolution, because the year before, 2023, was the Iron Man match with MJF for the world title. But yeah, 2024 Revolution, you had fucking Darby Allin launching himself off the top of a fucking large-ass ladder, landing through a glass table onto the floor. I mean, and Al Snow even said it, that someday someone is going to die in this fucking company. And I truly believe that. I think eventually, at some point in time, we are going to watch someone be carted off on a fucking, in a gosh darn stretcher and probably be pronounced dead when they make it to the hospital. No joke. This is not some, I'm not joking around here. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm being dead ass serious. This is a huge fucking problem, this company. They take too many risks with their performers. These guys need to be a little bit more precautious and a little bit more safer in the ring. I don't care how much ooh and ahs we get as fans. This is dangerous for these performers' health. They could die in the middle of that ring. There's no reason for that. This isn't fucking real. They're not really trying to kill each other. They're trying to perform a show for us to enjoy through an athletic competition. They don't have to kill themselves to do that. And if you're into that, you're a fucking sick bastard. You truly are. You're a fucking messed up human being. You need fucking shots of Thorazine, speak to a therapist, something. You need some fucking help. I, personally, when I watch a UFC event or a boxing event, I don't wish anyone to get severely hurt. It's going to happen, yes. But these referees are there for that reason, to prevent further damage occurring to a performer that's in the octagon, let's say, for UFC. There has not been one account of someone dying being in that sport, believe it or not. Because they have referees that come in and stop the fight. The whole purpose is just to win. You're not there to kill someone and end their fucking livelihood or their life. This is downright fucking sick. Would I say that Jon Moxley's spot with Adam Copeland, where he gets suplexed on top of a 2x4 with nails, was fucking gruesome and like jaw-dropping? Yes. But he could have suffered severe damage to his back. For all we know, he might have damage to his back. Hopefully he didn't break his fucking back or cause any severe issues with it, and possibly screwing up his fucking career or shortening it, for all we know. And the same with Billie Starkz and Mercedes Moné. I swear to God, if I didn't know any better, I thought these women might have killed each other. I mean, this is just downright fucking sick. These guys need to take it easy, man. You're performers. You're not fucking out. This isn't the Roman gladiators, man. This isn't the Roman Colosseum. We're not watching Russell Crowe kill a bunch of fucking people in the middle of a gosh darn Roman Colosseum, okay? I mean, give me a fucking break with this shit. This is just fucking downright insanity. The opener of the show is the Fatal 4-Way match to determine the number one contender of the International Championship to face Kenny Omega at at Dynasty. Everybody was predicting, oh, it's going to be Ricochet. It's going to be Ricochet. It's going to be Ricochet. Even including myself. Ricochet. Well, I'll give Tony Khan maybe a little bit of credit, but then again, it seems to me like it was a bit fucking forced in my own personal opinion. We're going to be having a triple threat match instead of a one-on-one match over the International Championship, because he painted himself in a fucked up corner where Ricochet had to win this match, or otherwise he'll look fucking ridiculous, but at the same time, he couldn't afford to have Ricochet take another L after he already lost to Swerve Strickland. Okay. So, Mike Speedball, or in his case, he should change his name to 8-Ball when he becomes a heel at some point in his career, representing cocaine. I mean, they want to call him Speedball. I mean, he's already talking about drugs, doing speed, so why not change it to 8-Ball just for good measure? I mean, you could have picked anyone else but Mike Bailey. Anybody else. You could have picked Mark Davis. Well, Mark Davis actually was the one that was pinned in this match, unfortunately. So, whatever. You could have picked Orange Cassidy and Ricochet to win this match. You didn't need Mike Bailey in a fucking gosh darn title match in his first pay-per-view event. It didn't need to happen. Now Mike Bailey is going to be suffering the L. That's what Mike Bailey's in for, is to take an L here so that Ricochet doesn't have to. That's the whole fucking point. I guess Mike Bailey's going to be a short-term thing. And Mike Bailey's going to be an afterthought thrown on fucking Collision. Not like Mike Bailey's blowing up the fucking airwaves with his wrestling ability. Like, it's not like we've never seen this by a Rob Van Dam. There are tons of guys that can do what Mike Bailey can do, as well as Ricochet. Come on here. This is fucking ridiculous. I did like the idea of making it a draw and making two people go involved into this matchup instead of one-on-one, because Ricochet cannot take another L. It hurts his gimmick, it hurts his stats and everything else. So this was the smart decision, but Orange Cassidy would have been a better idea to the situation. He could suffer an L. The guy is bulletproof, and of course, Tony Khan loves Orange Cassidy. You can always bring him back to a winning streak anyway. Doesn't fucking matter. Anyhow, he's not at the same level he once was 2 years ago, carrying the International Championship anyway. So who gives a fuck? Some things I did like about the show. Believe it or not, I actually like some things about this fucking show. Can you believe that? Usually I sit here, I bitch, I moan, and I've been doing it very quietly as of late in the last couple of years, honestly. I have not blown up like this in a very long time. And it's time for me to start being more energetic, more emotional, and just giving you guys my feelings on it when it's shit. When it's good, I can be calm, cool, relaxed, and just, say congratulations to booking a good show and be happy with it. This is not something to be happy about. And to be quite frankly, out of all the wrestling televised shows, wrestling content that deserves the most hatred or rants is AEW. They have one of the greatest talents in the fucking business, along with WWE. I'm not going to say WWE ain't got great talent like AEW. They do. But to have this type of talent and have so many names off the fucking show and just not care about them and like use them periodically of importance and then drop them off like they fell off the face of the fucking earth, I think is absolutely ridiculous. And Tony Khan's been doing that from day one, honestly. I mean, literally, he's been doing it from day one. And, it's not been good. It's not consistent with the characters on the show. It doesn't help them in any way, shape, or form. One thing that I did like, they touched on MJF. They touched on Hangman Page. They circled back to Hangman Page's dislike towards Swerve Strickland, and that he reiterated that he made a promise that Swerve Strickland would never become the World Heavyweight Champion as long as he works in AEW. And he said he's a man of his word, but he needs to focus on himself at this point in time. And he's declaring himself into the Owen Hart Cup tournament to become the number one contender at All In for the world title. I think that's great. I think that also brings a little bit of unpredictability. Or it might be being used as a layer of putting more heat between MJF and Hangman Page. That could be a possibility. But I'll be honest with you. I've stated this once before, but I'm going to turn against what I said. I said at All In, Will Ospreay is going to be the guy to take the title off of Jon Moxley. Now, granted, this is based on Tony Khan's booking ways. He loves his Will Ospreay so damn much, just like he loves his Orange Cassidy, but he'll never book him in the same capacity as Will Ospreay is. I stated that Will Ospreay is going to be the guy to beat Jon Moxley, but to be quite frank with you, I think Jon Moxley should lose the title to Hangman Page at All In. If there's anybody that deserves it, it's Hangman Page. Will Ospreay don't need the fucking title at this point in time. He will eventually get it. In time, give it to him. Hangman Page, in storyline-wise and everything else, he deserves that belt. And the next guy after that would be MJF. And then the guy that takes the title from MJF should be Will Ospreay. That's the booking decisions I would go with the world title. From one person to the next. That's how I'd book this shit. And you can give it time, find individual contenders for the belt over time, so they have a decent title reign, and then drop it to those individuals. And that's how I do this. Does it matter what I fucking say? Hell no. It doesn't fucking matter what I'm saying here. I'm just the guy behind a microphone telling you guys what I think in audio format. But personally, if Will Ospreay's the guy that wins, fine, I guess. You know, it is what it is. But Hangman Page stating he wants to be in the Owen Hart tournament to be the number one contender, that's my guy right there. That is the guy I'd be making the fucking number one contender. MJF, I mean, he's still lurking in the background, which, I mean, MJF could literally, you know, just ask for the, you know, earn his right for the world title while Hangman Page is champion. He doesn't have to go through hula hoops, screwing over Hangman Page out of the world title. He doesn't need to do that. MJF needs to focus on himself, get himself back in winning ways. He lost to Hangman Page. He needs to accept that. That's the way they need to book him and get him back to the vile, disgusting MJF that he used to be. And that's what they need to do with him in the meantime, while Hangman Page has a little bit of a run with the World Championship. That's what I'd do. Plain and simple. But that's just my thoughts and opinions on that. MJF had a moment on the show. He pretty much announced what he says next week he's going to give MVP his decision on whether or not he wants to do business with him or not, which could be a positive or a negative based on the way you look at it and the way they book it. I think it would be cool for him to have a business relationship with the Hurt Business, or Hurt Syndicate, I should say. I mean, we don't want to, step on WWE's toes with copyrights and all that bullshit. But the truth of the matter is, I think MJF and MVP as business associates would be the proper way to go. This could eventually lead him to becoming the world champion in the future of later on this year at like Full Gear. That's what I'd do. I'd have Hangman Page be champion until Full Gear, from All In to Full Gear. I think that's a decent run as champion. Based on all the other names that we could have as world champion, I think that's a decent run with the title. And then you could circle it around eventually somewhere down the line, or have Will Ospreay win the title from MJF and revisit that storyline, that rivalry between those two. I think that would be fun to go back and witness, and have them main event a world with the world title on a pay-per-view event. Because they never got that opportunity. They were fighting over a mid-tier championship with the International Championship, which was called the U.S. Championship, or whatever the fuck they were calling it back then, of last year. But personally, this episode had its good, but it also had plenty of bad too. With the placement of the matches and everything else, this was a fucking miss. A show that could have been successful but was missed. That's what happened here on this episode of AEW Dynamite. That is my viewpoint on the entire show, and that's the way I feel about it. All the other shit, I'm not going to even reiterate what happened verbatim. All the little other details, like Bandino wanting the mask of his brother back. Chris Jericho with Bandito. Who the fuck cares? It's a Ring of Honor fucking storyline. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody watches Ring of Honor. Anyone out here in the world gonna spend $9.99 to watch Honor Club Ring of Honor? Unless you're going back to watch the old content of when they were their own entity, would you go ahead and watch the current product? Fuck no. You're not gonna go ahead and get Honor Club to watch the current product. There's no need to. It's a fucking waste of time and nobody watches it anyway. So who gives a shit? I'm just lost of words of how this guy went from being a guy making AEW an alternative to now being an utter waste of everybody's time watching this product. It's pretty fucking sad, honestly. But that's just me. I don't know what you guys think, but if you did enjoy the video and enjoy the rant, by all means, hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. And of course, leave a comment down below. I'll definitely get back to you on that. I thank you guys very much for watching, and have a great night, guys.